Good evening, everyone. The deadly encounter happened in the drive-thru over a weekend, about a week ago, and no arrests have been made yet.
Police released the name of the shooter today, Matthew Aston. Channel 4's Scott Johnson has been looking into this case and why we still don't know whether Aston will face charges. Scott's joining us live. Scott?
Well, I talked to a local gun rights attorney who says you can't really arrest him until you've investigated a number of facts here, and it's possible Aston could never be charged. The scene was this Whataburger around 2 in the morning on New Year's Day when investigators say Daniel Grady walked up to a car driven by Matthew Aston. An argument ensued, and Aston pulled a gun, shooting Grady, killing him. It's been more than a week since the shooting, and we still don't know whether Aston will be charged. Eric Friday is a local gun rights attorney who says it's not a surprise that Aston was never arrested.
Under the Stand Your Ground law, the law says that the police are not supposed to arrest anybody until they have developed probable cause that the shooting was not in self-defense. So they're actually complying with what the law says.
Here's what we know about the two men involved. Grady had a criminal record with 2 arrests in the past few years for burglary and possession of a controlled substance. But for Aston, I could only find traffic violations and no criminal history. It's uncertain whether he had a concealed carry permit, but Friday says if the gun was in his vehicle, he's not required to have one.
In Florida, the self-defense laws in your car are the same as in your home. If somebody attempts to come into your car, you are allowed to assume they're there to do you great bodily harm or kill you.
I've learned that Aston had intended to be getting married next month and works for a company in Jacksonville. As far as we know, life continues as usual for him and may well stay that way if he can convince investigators that he felt his life was in danger and had reason to shoot Grady.
Does it appear this was a justifiable shooting or not? I mean, you've got a situation where you've got, from what we know today, somebody that appears to be a otherwise law-abiding citizen and somebody that has a history of committing burglary and being a felon. So automatically you've got one person who's entitled to carry a gun and one person who's not.
And I did talk to Aston by phone. He tells me he has no comment. We're live tonight. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
So, Scott, we know Aston left the scene and then went home to call police. Could that actually play a role in whether or not he's prosecuted?
Well, Eric Friday tells me probably won't. He says you have the reasonable right to leave if you feel your life's threatened, thinking the person may have friends with him or something of that nature, because he went home and called police directly. Now, if he had, say, gone into hiding and called a day or two later, that may have played a role. But he says because he called immediately after he got home, it likely won't. Back to you.
Scott Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Scott, thanks.